and welcome. I'm Mary Felton, and because of the COVID restrictions, I've been asked to interview Mary Felton, my mum, for her first interview as president of WIDA. So, where should we start, or where would you like to start, Mum?
Well, I'd like to start by saying hello to everyone, and I hope that all of you around the world are enjoying getting back to dancing, and we hope that we're near the end of this tunnel and we will be out of the other side very soon. We've had an awful time really, and everybody who's stuck with it, your dancers, yourselves, it's wonderful. We've learned a lot actually from it, so hopefully we're on our way out the other end.
Yeah, and I have to say it has been hard. We know from ourselves and from our own class that it has been hard to motivate dancers really over these, say, as you said, the last 12 or 18 months.
Absolutely, it seems like such a long time ago since the toilet roll challenge. If you remember that one, it was good. I mean, the kids loved that. I mean, maybe we should do that as an annual event. No, maybe not. So congratulations, and give yourselves a pat on the back. You deserve it. We have all worked really hard and we did very well. So there you go.
Yeah. So on to the pressing matter of being president of WIDA. So were you surprised to be invited into this role as president of WIDA?
Absolutely. People who know me know I speak my mind a lot, and
really?
And it never crossed my mind that I would be asked to do this job, and I'm delighted. I actually felt very honoured. I mean, when it was a surprise, and there was shock. I couldn't even speak initially. I thought, is this real? And then I was very, very, very chuffed to be asked. So, I hope that in the couple of years that this role goes on for, I can leave something behind me that will benefit WIDA and maybe help all the members.
Tell us more about your teaching years. You did your exam with Kogel?
With Kogel,
right?
Yeah, because Kogel came about in 1969. And when some of the I was a dancer, so at the time I didn't really know much about it, but they weren't happy, obviously, that was the bottom line. And a lot of the older teachers like Rory and the Cadwells, Peter Bolton, Harry McCaffrey, Anna McCoy, Mary McLaughlin, all of those broke away.
Yeah.
And it didn't affect us very much. And the first time I remember noticing there was a difference was the All-Ireland, when we didn't have the English schools over,
And the All-Ireland was like the World Championships nowadays. It's the big event, wasn't it, the All-Ireland?
And in those days people didn't travel very far anyway. And so there would be a big thing to see the All-Ireland. They're all coming down from the north and they're coming from England, and it was great.
Yeah.
So no, that didn't happen. But I did my teachers there anyway, and that was about, I suppose, about 3 years later.
After the split, okay.
After the split, about 69, 70, 71, 72, maybe 73, something about that.
Yeah.
And and Breda McHugh, my friend, and myself started teaching together, and we went on doing that until I married a Morris dancer and came to live in England. Wow. That was the festival's fault as well, obviously.
Yes, you met through festivals as well, yeah. And so you began teaching in England, or
I did, but there was no Kogel around here. I live near Stratford-on-Avon. I mean, they'd never heard of Irish dancing, to be honest. Thank God for river dance. It improved all our lives. But so I joined Commission, and because there was some in Coventry and Birmingham, which was like 30 miles different directions. So I was kind of there, and we're there for a while. We're only getting into it really when I became ill and had to stop or take it down a lot for a couple of years. And in that time I thought, well, the dancers actually were enjoying being a little bit more relaxed, and so I found out, I looked about, somebody told me about Open Platform, and I started to look around, and I talked to a few organisations, and then I saw that there was a competition not far from us, by WIDA competition. So I went and I loved it. I mean, it was a very small competition. Even when we started having competitions with WIDA, they were very small. I mean, 50 people, and the next year there'd be 12. No, not quite 12, maybe 30. I remember going way down at the beginning until it built. But I thought it was lovely, and I thought, John told us about the Europeans,
Yeah.
And we went, 4 dancers went
Yes.
that year.
Berlin, 2007.
Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
And you
it.
danced.
I remember it well. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so that was fine. And I had a longer chat, and meantime I'd looked at the rules of the organisation, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw. I liked, which was, this one thing was like, beginners didn't wear costumes, just a skirt and blouse. That was like unheard of at the time. And now other organisations are doing it. I liked that. I liked the fact that they wore their class costumes for the next couple, and they didn't get into the swank until they got older.
Yeah.
Or let's say more advanced, into the open competitions, because I had watched children with the mothers dressing them up, thinking, oh, the more expensive costume I put on, the better the dancer she will be. And that doesn't work like that, as we know. Better to grow and have a reward for every stage.
Progress into it.
Absolutely. So, so that's how it was. I'm forgetting to look at this camera, by the way. I just realised I'm not, it's funny, isn't it, talk to a camera. I'll get used to it in the 2 years, no doubt.
Yeah.
And so I joined.
Yeah, come to. 2007. Yeah.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
So that's kind of how that's how you came to WIDA, obviously.
Yeah.
And like you say, meeting all the teachers. I think I remember you telling me that story of walking into the hall in Berlin, and obviously you hadn't been in the organisation, been to many competitions, and the teachers coming up to you and talking to you and saying hello and giving you a hug and
welcome.
just being really welcomed. That's it.
And my memory in Berlin, I don't know who this teacher is. I don't know whether he's still with WIDA. I hadn't a clue who he was, but he had a team of girls doing either a 6-hand or an 8-hand, and he bought them all a rose. And I thought it didn't matter to him whether they won or they didn't win. He was delighted that they were there, and everybody was happy to be there. And we've experienced that a lot. When I went to Odessa, and we went out on the boat that time, and they're playing Irish music and they're loving it, and I'm thinking, this is what it should be like. And so I still feel that about WIDA. I still feel the people who love it, and that's what I like,
And that's what keeps you with WIDA, I assume then.
It is. I mean, I do like that. I was just looking at some things that I wrote down. I also liked, and I still like, the fact that the grade exams lead straight to directly to a teacher's certificate. Or you can take the other route, and it's broken down into sections to help you to get there. Nobody is trying to knock you out. They're trying to encourage you, bring you on, and I think that's lovely. We have actually been to one or two once. Organisations, other open platform, and the organisation of the day, the Fresh Day, wasn't as good. And I mean, I like the way it's set up. I like it runs clearly all day, and people come and say, this is the first bit Fesh I've been, outsiders like come and say, it's the first Fesh I've been to that I understood what was going on. And that's important.
And you can see the progression through the day as well, can't you? Easy to follow.
It is. So I like that. There's a number of things I liked, you know what I mean? So, and that's it. Basically, I suppose, the best thing is the people. You know? It is. Like, sometimes you're thinking, oh God, another day to Fesh, and I'm getting up at what hours in the morning, and I won't be home till near the same time the next morning. And then you get there, and to be honest, you laugh a lot.
The time just goes by.
It's a day when you laugh a lot, and that's got to be something. And it's also a different world from, so it's it can be, you can have trouble, you can have people enjoying themselves, you can have anything like that, but generally it's a day of laughs, and if you don't do that, then you're not really enjoying it, but we do.
So how do you see WIDA, or where do you see WIDA going in the future?
Well, WIDA is expanding, has expanded obviously since we joined, just a bit, and it is expanding quickly. Now, the new committees, I think this is definitely needed, because one person can't do everything or do even all of one thing. We don't have this much time in our lives, so sharing the responsibilities will help the organisation. And it also, people bounce off each other in committees, and so they bring in ideas, and that's why it's always good to listen, even though the quiet one isn't saying much. give them the opportunity, because if they've listened, they've heard what's going on. I find at meetings, but I think that's where the future is, and I think they're doing so far. Any committees we've seen seem to be doing really well, and great. I'm delighted, and that's where we should be. Was there anything I meant to say that I just have notes here that I meant to say something else and I've forgotten it? Yes, the other thing I did want to say was, if you haven't volunteered for a committee and you think I might like to do that, but I'm not sure, go do it anyway. And the people who are on committees will welcome you, I'm sure, because it spreads out the work, and it helps each other. And it might be only sticking stamps on envelope to send out results or whatever. And I don't mean results, but medals, like for instance, anything, any small job. It's great if somebody else can do it. Really good. And so that's where I see us as a group.
Yeah,
Committees are going to lead the way, and you people. We should always feel welcome, and I think we are welcomed and needed. So I think that's where we need to go. Generally in the world of Irish dancing, WIDA is good because we stand together. I mean, we can have our arguments, but I think we're allowed to argue, which is very good, because in a lot of organisations you have to make sure you're agreeing with the right person or not the right, too much. At least we are, able to do this, and we're able to, an open discussion, we're able to talk, as long as we have respect for each other, because we've all come different roads. I mean, my road started a long time ago. Other people's roads are only starting in the last couple of years, and styles are different, and they've come from different rules, different approaches. And so we need to respect that in each other as well, and be happy for it, because that's what will make us. We can be like a family, not the same, and not that different either. We aren't that different because we're here, because we love it. We are nuts, So with that, I think we can, once we stand together. I'm proud of WIDA. I'm proud of the things that we've achieved. A small organisation, just a few years ago, and I'm very happy. I'm very pleased that Sean Gavin had a brainwave and started this organisation 17 years ago. So I'd like to leave you with a toast, and I have a little drinky here. It may be early in the morning, but sure, I might get used to this. One drink and I fall asleep, so I won't finish it. So I'd like to say thank you to you all. Good luck to you all. Well done in what we've all done in the last year and a half, or whatever it was. And here's to the future, here's to the next 17 years and beyond. And say happy birthday to WIDA.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, WIDA.